Hey folks, Jim Zaspel here with a super cool strategy for making more money on the same number of deals that you're currently doing, assuming you're currently doing deals. So here it is. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt in negotiating with a seller? So if you're buying a house directly from a seller, no agents involved, have you ever felt that you just didn't do as well as you could have? Have you ever felt like, man, I made a little bit of money, it was a decent deal, maybe made $5,000 in the wholesale deal, but there was more money to be had? Well, here's a rule and a rule of thumb rather that we've adopted and that we live by. And the more you adopt this rule, the more money you'll make on every single deal. Before I tell you that rule, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. So I recently hired an off-market acquisitionist. His name is Corey. Now, Corey's a really sharp dude, and I used to work for Grant Cardone doing telephone sales for him. The dude knows how to sell stuff, right? And he's got good people skills, presents himself well. And so anyway, bottom line is he's our off-market acquisitionist. So, and he started off, he got like a bunch of houses under contract, and I kind of scratched my head. I was like, well, why did you do these? You know, I said, what's the wholesale deals primarily. We'll market them, see what we get. And some closed, some didn't, like a quarter of them, which is terrible. And so we'd have the conversation, terminate with the sellers. So you don't want to do that, right? And so finally, after a few conversations with him, I said, listen, I said quality of lead, quality of deal is far better than quantity of deals. So he's thinking, I want to do 8 deals a month. I want to do 8 deals a month. That's great. I said, but I'd rather do 2 deals a month at $20,000 or $30,000 profit each than do 8 deals at $5,000. Right? I said, so quality is better than quantity. So what I did is I kind of reprogrammed his expectation from like a $3,000 to $5,000 wholesale fee on wholesale deals to 15 plus, right? And so it's funny how sometimes when our expectation is to make a certain amount of money, that we figure out a way to do it, right? And so that's what he's done. So now he's locking up all these deals at $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 spreads on a wholesale deal, not a rehab, on a wholesale deal. And he locked up a $50,000 spread rehab deal. And why is that happening? One, I think he's getting better at what he does. But the point is this, because he's committed to having quality deals, meaning big discounts, he's willing, this is the key, he's willing to walk away from a mediocre deal or a deal that really isn't a deal. It's more of a dud. So whoever's willing to, we've heard it before in negotiations, I imagine, whoever's willing to walk away from a deal is the one who wins the negotiation. Now, I truly believe that in the service that we offer, everybody wins because the seller sells their house, we make money, everybody wins. It's a win-win. It's not a zero-sum game. So anyway, if your expectation is to make more money on deals, set your minimum expectation. If you've never done a wholesale deal before, just set it at $10,000, right? Start there, all right? If you've been making $5,000 to $8,000, set your minimum spread at $15,000 on a wholesale deal, right? If you've been doing $20,000 to $25,000 rehab projects, set your expectation to $35,000, right? Just increase your expectation, and what you'll discover is you start finding those kinds of deals. I can point back to many instances on our team where we've done that. We've just increased our profitability. In fact, a friend of mine, Darren Collins, I'm in a mastermind with him, and he kind of drove, I don't think he knows this, but he drove this point home for me. He said at one mastermind meeting how from the first quarter from one quarter, he was averaging $8,000 per. The next quarter at the next mastermind meeting was $14,000 per, if I recall correctly. And somebody asked him, well, Darren, how'd you do that? He said, really, it's just our intention to do that. We intentionally increased our profitability, and now you're negotiating differently, right? And of course, it doesn't just happen by osmosis. You've got to learn different tactics and strategies for negotiating and positioning. Very, very important. The point is this: be intentional about increasing your spread on every deal, and you'll be amazed at how it actually happens. Okay? And then next, it's just be willing to walk away from any deal that you have across your plate. And if you're wholesale, just make your life easy. We don't get paid to do tons. It's not worth to do tons and tons of deals every single month if you're not making good money per. So rather than do, if your goal is to make $50,000 a month in wholesaling, right? That's great and that's decent. But would you rather do that in 10 transactions, high volume? or would you rather do that in 2 or 3? 2 or 3 is much better. And so have that intention, have that as your standard. And what you'll discover is life just gets a whole lot easier. And then, not only that, but you're negotiating because it's a better deal. You've got more buyers coming at you, more offers being made. You can negotiate from a much better position, more position of power with your buyers as well. So be intentional about the spread you're going to make on your deals. And I hope this helps you make more money on your wholesale deals. See you soon.